Wow.
Yeah, that was funny.
Boundless, man. We coming at you loud.
Real loud.
Loud, bro.
Boundless Hour.
Gotta make sure your ears.
Hip Hop Beef Part 3.
Tres.
This is Part 3,
Y'all
everybody.
remember MTV Tres?
Yeah. Is that still around?
No, I don't think it is, honestly.
No?
I mean, I haven't checked.
It might be.
I watched it for like a week and that was it.
Damn.
Yeah. Shout out to MTV for giving us love at least.
Yeah. There you go.
They still got MTV Gems, but now it's BET Gems.
So it's not MTV Gems.
So then it's not.
It's BET Gems.
That's two different.
I mean,
Alright.
you know what? Okay, yeah. Let's move on. So we had with Beef Part 3 or Part 3, as we called it earlier.
There you go.
And man, there's just so many beefs that we can't even get through all of them in 3 parts. There's beefs that have happened, you know, that were like a day beef, a week beef. That was it.
A decade beef.
A decade beef.
We talked about the decade beef last week.
Yeah.
That was a long beef. But
We're back though.
we're probably going to come back to it eventually. You know, we're going to end it on Part 3 for now. We'll come back to it later on. Just because more beef will come around, and then there's a lot of old school beef that we just didn't even get to.
Right. And just a recap for people who like don't know what beef is. Beef is when somebody disrespects you lyrically in a song, and you have a choice whether to stay quiet and accept your loss, or retaliate and get back. You know,
And still either take a loss or a win.
either take a loss or win. Just count, you know, just see if you're gonna win or not lyrically and musically. Because a lot of beefs, what happened was it wasn't even the content of the lyrics, it was the way it was delivered that people took more like, oh, this beef went way harder. This beef was a lot cooler. This and that.
Yeah.
And if you listen to it lyrically, you're like, no,
Like
it
not
wasn't.
even close.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it wasn't. But you know, rap, hip hop, it's always been determined on the way it was delivered. The beat was one of the biggest keys in hip hop. Even to this day, like hip hop nowadays is mainly focused on the beat.
I mean, it seems like nowadays nobody cares about the lyrics
Lyric
anymore.
content is out of the window. Yeah,
They're listening to the beat and how you sound over it, and they're just like, all right, yeah, this is dope. I can get down to this.
as long as you got a catchy hook and a dope beat, that's what
And
makes
that's it.
hip hop nowadays. You know, that's what makes hip hop,
You
and
know?
it's unfortunate because you know there's a lot of poets.
Trash part about it.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. Yeah.
Because there's a lot of dope poets out there, dope lyricists who write something that's like, man, it's mind blowing. That you're like, whoa.
Exactly. You're like, man, this guy.
Like Blueface.
Okay, yeah.
Blueface.
And then there's Blueface.
What the hell? No, stop
Blueface
it.
is what I saw a post by
Oh
John
my god.
a couple weeks back, and I agree with it. Blueface is considered the new radio bass.
Damn.
Yeah, Blueface is the
That's
new
messed
radio
He
up.
only
bass.
has one song
Mhm.
that he's like doing shows for,
Tatiana, bro, that song
and he's
pisses me off.
remixing the hell out of it.
You know what's-
Every time I hear that song, dude, I'm just
You know what's
like,
messed up? I had some middle school kid ask me if I ever heard that song. I said, I've ever heard what? They said, the Tatiana song. I was like,
Tatiana.
what? I've never heard this song
Yeah, I
before.
never heard it. That song's everywhere.
That shit needs to be put
I've
down.
heard it one time,
Yeah.
and it was probably another month after they told me about it.
It was
That
trash,
shit
man,
needs to be
dude.
put to
It
bed.
is trash.
It's trash, but unfortunately, that's what makes hip hop nowadays. You know, it's just a catchy hook.
And he's got a track with G-Eazy now, so it did something for him.
You know what?
That's G-Eazy's song.
That's Jeezy's song
But he's
featuring.
still on it.
And you know what though? You know what?
Yeah.
I like the track until it gets to Blueface part, and then I skip
Exactly.
it.
Yep. Same here.
I'm like, Jeezy's dope. Like, I'm not gonna take anything away from Jeezy. Like, I like
Yeah.
his part. I like his thing. I like the feel. It's got a West Coast feel to it. You know.
I'm not gonna lie, the song came on, I'm like, dang, this is dope.
And
And
then
then
Blueface.
all I hear is Blueface. I'm like, nope,
I'm like,
skip.
skip.
Like, nah, not listening to
And
that.
man, and you know what? We're considered old heads for that. Honestly, we're
Yeah.
considered old heads for thinking that way. And that's
Yeah,
I mean,
right? Oh, man.
Yeah, but you know, and I feel honestly, now that we got to this subject and to this conversation, what happened recently, I think, opened the eyes to a lot of new generation consumers of hip hop because Nipsey Hussle just died a couple weeks ago, and what I think a lot of young kids started realizing because what I started noticing on social media is that after Nipsey died, And a lot of new kids, they hadn't heard of Nipsey. They didn't like who Nipsey who. And you know, it's all over social media now. You know, Nipsey,
Right.
R.I.P. Nipsey. Everybody's showing love to Nipsey.
Right,
A
right.
lot of younger kids are over here like, who is that? So then what happened is they started searching up his music on YouTube because it's a lot easier to get to, and they started listening, and they're like, whoa, this is dope.
Yep.
You know, and so that's where we're coming from. Honestly, it's his type of music. It's not even the beat. It's not even. It's just what was being said. He's transferring positivity to his community. He's
Since
transferring.
day one.
He's yeah, from the get go. He's trying to send a positive message to his community. He's trying to lyrically uplift his community.
Yep.
And kids are starting to realize, like, oh, this is because I see a lot of like 19-year-old kids, like, man, you know, Nipsey song. I saw a comment by somebody who's around like what 19, 18 years old, saying, I wish I had heard of him when he was alive. You know, that to me tells me like kids aren't listening to this type of message, and then when
they're
they do hear
understanding
it, they understand, like,
Yeah.
whoa, you know, this is different. This is new. It's not new. It's always been there.
Yeah.
It's just been, you know,
They're just not listening to it
They're
because
listening to the
it's,
mainstream.
it's not what was hot, right?
Exactly.
So, which it is, but to them it was, oh, let's listen to this, whatever is hot at this moment that may
Partying,
not make
popping up
sense.
song, yeah.
And that's what most people are listening to now. They want
All of the levels.
all the songs they can dance to, and you know they don't. That's why they don't care so much
Yeah.
about the lyrics anymore, because all they want to do is dance to a track.
People want to be entertained.
Yeah.
They want to be entertained, but they miss the part of hip hop, which is
The
not
message.
entertainment.
The
Instead,
message.
it's a message.
The message,
It's
yeah.
a message.
It was always a story. There was always a message.
Yep.
There was, you know, yeah. A lot of people would talk about how a lot of these tracks sound the same. They're talking about who shot who did what, who
Right.
did this, right? But there are some that they talk about other things, how it was in their community, you know, how it was growing up, you know, and everybody grew up differently,
Exactly.
you know. So we just gotta get back to just the lyrical portion.
Yeah, definitely.
Music.
And I think this time around, I think the younger generation is starting to realize hip hop can be a lot more than just let's get super faded and party.
Yeah, right.
Like it could be a side where it's like let's stop and listen and really, you know, try to get a perspective on different people's lives.
Right.
You know.
I wonder if these kids even know what Wiz Khalifa used to sound like before he started doing the weed music.
Man, like
His style was completely different when he
Really?
first came out.
really, because I didn't really pay
If you,
attention to
if you
Wiz
hear
till he grew up.
if you
Definitely
hear
different.
like when he first started, it is nothing compared to what he does now.
Really?
Nothing at all.
That's crazy. That's
Yeah.
crazy. I didn't know that, honestly.
We'll have to show you in the
Yeah, you
in-
got
in
to
between the
educate me on
cues.
that. So, anyways, we back to beef again. Beef part 3, and we're gonna start off with John's track. My bad, Kane. I'm so used to calling you John.
Mommy,
I'm
this
so used
is
to calling you John.
John.
But we're going back to Kane's track. We're starting off with Kane's tracks, and we're starting off with what?
Well, a lot of people think it's Kendrick Lamar's song, but it's not. Big Sean's Control.
Big Sean. Yep.
Featuring Kendrick and Jay Electronica. Yes, there is a third verse.
everybody forgets.
Yeah.
Shoot, I forgot it was Big Sean's song a minute ago.
Yes,
But-
we're starting with Control.
So how did this beef start? Like what?
What's the beef in it?
What's
It's
the beef
honestly,
in,
like
period?
honestly, it started is Kendrick just felt like it was like we said too many bubblegum rap music start up quick, like
Right.
quick starter package music. So he said, I'm gonna go at everybody and wake y'all the fuck up so y'all can actually like the real lyricists can actually start going. And it started.
Oh, he did, because so many
It
people started responding.
Joe Budden responded. Who else?
A lot of East Coast heads
A
responded.
whole lot of East
Do
Coast.
I think
Maybe-
Pat Poose had some with
maybe
kind of
Poose
trash.
started.
Mainly everybody he named in that track
Pusha
responded.
T. Pusha
Yeah.
T's the only one that didn't respond because
J. Cole didn't respond.
because he understood what it.
Yeah, J.
what it
Cole didn't
was.
either.
Yeah, J. Cole.
Well, because
But-
there was a part in the song, and
He-
like honestly, it wasn't really a diss. It was a kind of a compliment, honestly.
Yeah, yeah.
He goes off naming like, you know what? I got love for all the J. Cole, the Big Sean, this and that,
Yeah,
but I'm
but
trying to
it-
murder y'all. You
It,
know?
did, it didn't. It wasn't really. It didn't. They didn't take it too serious till he started saying he was a king of New York.
And that's why I think J. Cole didn't say nothing because
Yeah.
he's from North Carolina.
Yeah,
you know?
so he doesn't. I mean,
That's
yeah.
why everybody from the East Coast just hopped on.
It's
They're
because
like-
he said I'm the king of the West Coast and I'm the king of New York. I juggle them both. You know, he basically named himself king of the West Coast and
But
king
he's
of
not
the
the
East Coast.
he's not the first person to ever say that in the song.
Yeah, I understand that,
Corrupt actually said that a long time ago.
but nobody wants that smoke with corrupt.
Yeah.
That's the
He
thing.
said that when they was like still death row era.
That's funny. So
So he just
basically what
brought it
Kendrick what happened with Kendrick is he said, "I'm the king of the West Coast and I'm the king of New York," and a lot of East Coast rappers didn't like that.
Exactly.
And
I hate it.
So they responded, man, and that the whole control responses
I got
went
tired
on
of that
for
damn-
months.
I got tired of that beat.
Months and months. Yeah,
I
man,
got so tired of that beat.
it went on. It went on and on and on and on.
funny
and
part
on.
is I wrote some lyrics to that beat.
Wow.
not a response to Kendrick. I did my own thing on it, but like
We're gonna have to hear that one day.
Yeah.
I like
you
the
gotta play
beat.
that.
I
You
like
gotta
the
play
beat.
Did you record it?
Yeah, maybe.
Did you?
He recorded it.
Do you still have that
I
track?
still have the
All
track.
right, we're gonna have to hear that. Not on here probably, but I want to hear that.
I'll send it to you. I'll send it to you when it's done. But
When it's done.
when it's done, because I mean it's like a 3-minute beat, bro. I only got like a verse on it. I mean, if you want to jump on it, go ahead. You know. But anyways, okay. So was there a response to Control that you played? So do you just have the Control
I
track?
just have the original.
The original Control track. Okay,
'Cause
then
that's what started it.
Yeah,
So.
that's
Man, there's too many
And there was,
responses.
yeah, man. I was
nah,
scrolling down
yeah.
YouTube and
That's a whole show.
No, yep. We're
Yeah, it's literally Control episode if we was to do that.
Yeah.
So I just
So
picked,
coming
I just
up-
picked the song that started it all off.
Okay, so coming up, we're gonna play a Big Sean track named Control, where Kendrick, I guess, sparked a beef from his verse.
And just went
And
off.
it just
on
went
There is a third
everybody.
There's a third verse, and we're gonna play it, I guess, on this show. So let's go ahead and get running, man. This is Boundless Hour. You're about to hear Control by Big Sean featuring Kendrick, and that sparked the whole beat.
verse. J Electronica.
And J Electronica too. So this is the Boundless Hour. Donnie Alcaraz Productions. Let's get it.
Yeah.
That was Control by Big Sean featuring Kendrick.
And Jay Electronica.
I keep
There's
forgetting.
no love on this
My
song.
bad, dude, my bad. Because I mean, the hardest part was Kendrick's, dude. Honestly,
But it's funny though,
It was the longest verse too.
but if you listen
Yeah.
to the comments when this song first came out, they forget that it was a Big Sean song, and they forget that Jay
Everybody
Electronica
thinks
was
Because
it's
on.
awesome.
even if you got to find it on even on people on YouTube, they put Kendrick from
Yeah.
featuring Big Sean.
That's why,
They don't even-
bro. Even you, when you typed it tonight on the list,
Yeah.
you
You
said
didn't put Jay
you said
Electronica.
Kendrick Control. I'm like, that's not
Yeah.
a Kendrick song. But everybody thinks it is because I mean, it
It
sparks a
pretty
beat.
much is.
It you know it kind
No
of.
one really cares for the Big. Well, not a lot of people really care for the Big Sean. They just there for Kendrick, and they just forget that J Electronica was on it. So after Kendrick first is off, they just changed.
So
I mean, he was kind of random on the track though. I think. I mean,
Who?
Jay Electronica, he was kind of
Oh, yeah,
randomly
it was
thrown.
random. It was random.
'Cause-
It was random.
I mean, I've heard of him before, but him on a Big Sean and Kendrick track, that was just random to
That
me.
was random.
I like his Exhibit C.
Yeah, that's a dope track. We have to play that one day.
So what Kendrick did is he just rubbed everybody the wrong way. Honestly,
He just, went
just
at
said
he
something
he
that everybody-
He friendly just went at everybody.
he finally went out at everybody, and everybody took it to heart, and they went off. But at the time, I mean, you got to take it back to the time that song came out. That was when Kendrick he just put out "To Pimp a Butterfly," I think it was.
And he was actually,
I
he
think
was,
so. It was,
and that's when people were starting to show him more love because he was getting better, you know, after the K-Dot days.
Yeah.
Actually, you know
So-
what? That was before "To Pimp a Butterfly." I just
think
realized
that that was.
because what happened was so Kendrick went on "To Pimp a Butterfly," his album that he had, and I remember on one song, I'm not sure which, I think it was King Kunta, where he mentioned he even mentioned he's like, it's funny how one verse can just fuck up the game.
Yeah.
And
it was right before that.
he was talking about that song right there. That
Yep.
one verse just made everybody target Kendrick and be like,
Everybody
"Yo,
was mad.
you know, who this dude do you think he
But
is?"
it helped in his favor. So.
It did. I mean, at
It
the end of the day,
helped a lot
like you
in
can't.
his favor.
And what we were talking about outside for those watching on Facebook Live and thinking where they going, you know, after once the
Every
song-
time a song plays, they just disappear.
they just leave and like we go
Pre-production
outside.
meetings.
Yeah, we go production meeting outside, like right to this door right here, and we talk. So what we were talking about outside is what I think happened is just Kendrick's part at some point rubbed everybody it rubbed everybody the wrong way.
Most of the East Coast.
But at the same time, it's like, how are you gonna mess with Kendrick's delivery? Because lyrically, a lot of rappers can probably beat Kendrick. But when it comes to delivery and the way he just makes his songs, there's not too many.
Even his voice is sometimes.
His voice is unique. His delivery is unique. The way he
Yep.
raps is unique. It's just, you know, all that it's hard to really touch Kendrick on a verse like that, you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's how it happens. So go ahead, King. Go ahead and tell us what the next beef is.
So the next beef started off is Tyga and the Game Chirac to LA.
What happened here?
So, is anybody in here familiar with the name Lil Durk?
No.
Yeah, but I don't listen to him.
Okay.
No, Dirt.
Lil Durk.
Dirt, not dirt.
Oh,
I mean,
heard
it should be dirt, but it's not.
He's from Chicago. He was around. He came out around that.
Chief Keef era.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't like that era.
Yeah, me
that
neither.
era, like that whole beef started is he said something in a song talking about Black China. Everybody knows who Black China is.
Yeah.
And at that time, Tiger and Black China I think they just had their kid. And he said something about how he wants to screw Black China, like every rapper does.
Everybody does.
And Tiger kind of pressed him and was like, you gotta take that out. He said, it's just a song, I'm not taking it out.
Was this when Tiger was on Cash Money?
Yeah.
Ah.
So they went back and forth on Twitter for like 2 months to take it off, and then finally Lil Durk said something. He actually put the song out with it on there, and he changed his verse a little bit to make it seem like he was going at Tiger, and Tiger didn't like it.
So how did Game end up on this track?
Yeah, well, okay, so how did,
That I don't know because at
Game just like jumping on anything
I think that's what it was. At the same time when they was
He
beefing,
just like-
but when they were beefing, that was still around the same time where Game had gotten into it with 40 Glock.
When
he
40 Glocks.
He hadn't put no
That
songs
was a. How you gonna record yourself
Damn.
beating somebody up
with one hand.
with one hand?
One hand.
One hand with a fist, the other one with a phone.
But that's
Oh,
pretty much
fuck.
like how it is. Like he saw that Tiger was beefing with him, and like Game does every damn time somebody on the West Coast is beefing with something, he just jumped on it.
Yeah, that's basically what Game does.
And he went at Lil Durk and 40 Glock at the same time. So yeah.
So that was this song. This is just one
That
song.
was
Or you
Chirac
got,
to LA.
or you
Because
got,
the one that Lil Durk was on, which was featuring Nicki Minaj and G Herbo, that I think got taken down because I could not find him. He's another person from
sound like
Chicago.
an STD.
That's what I was thinking. I was like,
He's actually a good rapper, G Herbo is. Lil Durk is not too much. But for some strange reason, I can't find the song that started it. So, and plus I like this one a little.
So you got one song coming up, or you got a response track to that?
I just got a response track to the song.
The original.
The
The
original.
original song.
Okay.
And that's called
That's
what?
Chirac to LA.
Chirac to LA. Okay. Well, we're going to go ahead and play that. Chirac to LA. Who was that on the track again? It was Game.
Tiger
and Game. Response to...
Chirac. That was the original name of the song.
No, but that's a response to who?
Lil Durk.
Dirk.
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 Okay. Because I keep hearing Dirk.
D-U-R-K.
I keep
Close
hearing
enough.
Dirk.
That's
Well,
right. Same shit.
That's fucked up.
Same shit, different color, bro. It is what it is.
Fucked up.
All right, yeah. So
Oh, man.
we're going to go ahead and play that track. This Chirac to LA, Tiger and Game.
No love over here.
I get no. Go
Not
ahead.
here, man.
Go ahead and play that, man. There's Danny Alcaraz on the board right there, man. Game always come over here with that mean delivery, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And he likes taking over your song. So if you got anybody you want to diss and you got him featured on it, don't worry about it. He'll take the rest.
He got you.
It's hilarious.
He said, T-Rock, I got you.
My chair randomly slid off.
You having technical difficulties over there? What you doing?
I need that extra height. Oh, man.
Yeah, you gotta look as tall as we do on camera. Come on, man. Go ahead and let's get into that next
So
one
who do you
here.
think won that one, Kane?
Is that a real question?
I mean, come on.
Well,
I gotta ask him because he's the one that brought it to the table.
I mean, after that whole thing happened, it went from Tiger and Lil Durk beefing to Game and Durk beefing. And after that, there was nothing else because they saw it. Actually, no, I take that back. They saw each other in the club.
Okay.
And that's the end of that.
Cool. I
They
mean, he
pretty
threw a
much-
shout out to
They
Riverside
pretty,
there,
they
so.
pretty much just had a scream match. They didn't fight. It just got dropped after they
That's
saw
fine.
each other in the club because,
Ain't nobody messing with the game.
yeah.
Yeah,
you
no.
see a
First of all,
6-foot
lyrically,
motherfucker step to you.
you can't mess with Game. Physically, the dude like 6'2",
Yeah.
big as hell.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
Little Dirk is kind of small and short, so you not winning.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't give a damn how many guns you got. You not winning.
I mean, it is what it is.
But,
So, anyways, what's the next beef we got coming, man?
this one is for the women of hip hop.
Okay, I remember this beef. I liked it, honestly.
Yeah.
I like what she did with this beat.
I heard about it. Didn't hear the tracks
You
though.
didn't hear the track?
Well,
So, go ahead.
Nicki Minaj put out 2 going at Remy Ma. those songs were just whack, so I didn't want to play them. But
Keeping it real on the Boundless Hour.
they were going. Well, first it started with Remy Ma thought Nicki Minaj was dissing her on a previous track before those two, and then she said something on Twitter, which is how normal beef start on Twitter. And then Nicki Minaj just said, "Okay, since you really think I'm talking about you,
I'm gonna talk about you.
I'm really talking about you."
Yep.
And she
Okay.
tried to say like the first song was not about you. It was just women hip hop is very small, so if you say something to somebody, they just automatically think it's them.
And Remy Ma coming out from what was her crew that she was coming out from?
Terror Squad.
Terror Squad, exactly. So
Walk
Remy
around
Ma
the metal detectors.
coming out of Remy Ma coming out of Terror Squad, and Terror
Yeah.
Squad known for their lyrical content. I mean,
Definitely.
you have Big Pun, you have Fat Joe coming out of
She's
there.
not nobody to go mess with because she.
Exactly.
So if somebody in Terror
She
Squad,
has records.
for those who don't know what Terror Squad is, it was a crew that Fat Joe had back in the day,
Big
and
Pun started it.
and Big Pun started it. Yeah. So R.I.P. Big Pun, but
that was a good ass group too.
they had to do
Man.
lyrically, you couldn't touch Terror Squad.
Yeah, Terror Squad.
And
was
Terror
the shit.
Squad showed a lot of love to West Coast rappers, mainly like Chicano rappers too, because Big Pun, he was Latino, he's Puerto Rican. So they had connects with Frost. They had connects with Mr. Criminal.
Yeah, I seen a couple songs.
They had a couple songs together. They were showing love to the West Coast because Big Pun started. He was Latino. He's coming out. He's Puerto Rican, out from New York. So to be in Terror Squad, you had to come with the lyrics.
That's the only thing they did. That's the
You
only
had to
thing
be
they dropped.
lyrical.
That's the only thing they dropped.
So-
Was known for the lyricism.
If you mess with Remy Ma, just know you about to get hit lyrically.
And not,
Yep.
not even that. It's like even Papoose, which is her husband, he is a lyrical person too. Like he's lyrical.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
So
they
that whole family.
Man,
is just
you want
lyrical.
this side topic?
go ahead.
Papooses song where he does every letter in the alphabet.
Oh yeah.
That track is dope.
Yeah.
That track, man.
And that's another thing. They thought that they kept clowning Remy Ma saying that you didn't write this, Papoose did, and that was a whole big thing. But
I mean, even if he did, Remy Ma can still get down lyrically. Like,
Yeah,
there's
she
no
can.
question about that.
she
You
did.
know.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, let's go ahead. This one track that you finna play.
Yeah, it's called
Just
Sheether.
Sheether. So
It's
Sheether.
It's over the ether beat.
Exactly. So I was about to explain that. So for those who don't know, Ether was the track we played last week
with Nas. Yep.
with Nas.
Featuring Jay.
It was this towards Jay-Z, and what Remy Ma did is took that beat and made her own version towards Nicki Minaj, and it was called Sheether. So let's go ahead and play
Yeah.
it, man. This is exactly.
But Remy Ma's like you
Puns.
gotta listen to her
Big
like
puns.
you gotta listen to her verses.
Yeah, you gotta
She's
listen to her
like,
lyrically.
She's literally splitting open Nicki Minaj
Mhm.
from her like she's going at her family, her brother, like all types of people.
So for those Facebook people who are watching this right now, we're sorry if you like Nicki Minaj, but Remy Ma is about to destroy her lyrically. So go ahead and pay attention to what she says, not just the beat and the way she's delivering. Listen to what she says. And this is Sheether on the Boundless Hour by Remy Ma. Let's play it, man. It's Danny Alcaraz on the board.
So we gonna go back to last week. What's up with these people going off at the end of the tracks?
I don't know, bro. I don't know. That's like
It's a
that's
thing.
old school.
It's like they run out of lyrics. They're like, you know what? I'm just gonna cuss them out for the last minute of the
You
song.
just gotta make sure they can feel. The
I paid for this beat. I'm not gonna waste this beat. I'm gonna go off on somebody at the end of this beat.
Exactly.
Man, so
And honestly, like, I mean, her delivery wasn't like what we're talking about outside. Her delivery isn't all that, but her lyrics is just she's breaking down Nicki. Period. She's basically saying you
Yeah, she's
went
going at every inch from the beginning of her career to now.
exactly.
That's literally what she's doing.
so these next two tracks that he's about to talk about here,
Ooh,
These-
what you talking about the
these are
the
pretty-
Drake and
yeah, these are
I
pretty
like
recent.
this beef.
Drake
I
and
like
Pusha
this
T.
one.
Drake and Pusha T.
So-
You know what? And a lot of people got bad things to say about Drake, but sometimes he got some good stuff, man. But
Here, I'm one of those people. So check it out. So
he's like, all right, let's.
so when Drake came out, I mean,
You a Drake stan?
I respected, the way he was delivering. I liked his early stuff, he was cool. But then when I found out, he was lying about a lot of his stuff, coming out from
So who doesn't?
Canada, And he's over here talking about starting from the bottom. Like, bro, you started on Nickelodeon. Why you
He
lying?
was over here on Degrassi.
Oh,
We're
like, he was
wheelchair.
like-
Shout out to Wheelchair Jimmy.
A lot of people don't know that.
A lot of people don't know he was kind of a rich kid, you know. He grew up in Canada. He had a middle class family, and so when he comes out here starting from the bottom to people like us, like dude, we grew up poor. Like when I was a kid, bro, we didn't have no stuff like that. My parents, like, little fun fact, like my parents over here, they immigrants. They came from Guatemala, bro. When they got here, they over here struggling to make ends meet, and we lived in bad neighborhoods. We lived in,
And they got a nice ass house right now. Though.
now
I just thought I'd throw that out there.
Now we the American dream, bro. We made it to the nice.
Without the picket fence.
We made it to the nice neighborhoods. But I'm saying when you got people like that talking about starting from the bottom, bro. You started low
in the middle.
In the middle.
You're like,
he already had like $1 million.
That's what I'm saying, bro. You were a kid, and you was already loaded. Like,
you was over here on your Degrassi,
that's
doing your thing
to
over
me.
there, and then,
to me, it's like, no, you didn't, bro. So,
that was when what was that channel? The N Noggin, whatever it was called. That's when that channel was hot.
So to me, like, when I found that out about Drake, I'm like, I don't know about this cat, dude. He seemed like he lied, and then it just so happens years later, it turns out he hiding a kid from the public, from the world. And
But the way that he was gonna present his kid was just stupid.
And one of the
present his kid with an Adidas deal. That's how his kid was gonna be known for the world.
Ain't that something?
Adidas baby.
Yeah.
That's better than R.I.P. to Michael Jackson. That's better than Blanket.
No. The way he was gonna tell the world that he has a kid through his Adidas brand.
Okay.
So the thing about me that I didn't like is he tried to hide the fact that he had this kid, and then when he tried to explain it in his next album, we talk about I wasn't trying to hide.
Well, he was embarrassed because
he got
a porn star.
Exactly, and honestly,
oh damn,
yeah, he had his baby with the porn star, and honestly, this wasn't a great looking porn star. Like you think porn star, you think oh damn, this chick got to be fun, and then you look at this chick, and you're like, how was she a porn star?
It was probably one of those ones where they made the widescreen bars just low enough to cut the head off.
It was doggy style only, bro.
Wow.
Oh my God. It was specifically POV, bro.
Wow.
Hey, bro, with editing these days, you can make anybody look good. So yeah, whatever.
CGI on her face, bro. That's all.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry. Like, you know what, Drake?
Anyways,
if you ever
back
see
to
this,
it.
I meant what I said.
Back to it.
But anyways, okay. So go ahead, John. Explain how this beef started.
So they've been going at each other back to back since 2011, as everyone knows.
You didn't say who.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry. Drake and Pusha T have been going back to back
Man,
with
I
each
love
other
Pusha T.
since 2011. Drake is Cash Money. Back then he was Cash Money. And it all started with What Happened to That Boy, the song that Pusha T put out with Birdman and all that. I think that's the right song, right?
For those who don't know, by the way, Cash Money is a record. Cause I know I've ran into a couple people who I mentioned Cash Money and they didn't know it was a record label.
For real?
Yeah, it's crazy. But
Go to sleep.
that's what I'm saying. But for those who don't know, Cash Money is a record label.
Cash Money was the A team, Young Money was the B team.
Exactly. That's exactly what it was. Cash Money is a record label owned by Birdman
And Slim.
Yep.
and Slim.
And then, but that's how it all started with that song where Pusha T felt like Birdman wasn't really promoting the song a lot.
Okay.
And Pusha T's good music.
Yeah, dude, he's great music.
But that was before he was good music.
No,
That
no,
was
the
when he was just
label.
No,
Good music.
but
What was
either
this?
way, he's
Oh
great
yeah,
music.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but
Always, man. A good man. Anytime I see Pusha T featured on the track,
You gotta click it.
I have to listen to
You
it.
got
I
it.
have
Yeah,
to.
you gotta listen to his part.
And then I sometimes I skip ahead just to hear his verse.
part.
And then,
Yep. That's what I did in this Anderson .Paak album that came out, Oxnard.
mhm.
It was a good album. But
It was a good album, but
when I heard Pusha
Pusha
T
T,
song,
I
I
mean,
had to
come on.
skip to Pusha T's part.
yeah.
So go ahead. So they had beef.
they had beef, and then Drake took it upon himself saying since he's like the new act on Cash Money, similar
Right.
to what Game does every damn diss record.
Yep.
I'm gonna go ahead and step up, prove to y'all I can really rap. So they've been going back and forth with each other. And then the Daytona album that Pusha T put out.
Great album, by the way. If you haven't heard that album, that is a good album. I
Yeah,
like
it is. Yeah, it is.
I like
He
it.
at one track, I don't remember the name of the track.
It was because he had Kanye on it too.
Yeah.
What would Meek do?
Yeah.
It was called What Would Meek Do?
And he was going at, and that was the same time that Drake and Meek Mill were beefing when he put that out.
Drake was feeling himself.
And Drake even dissed Kanye. That's why Kanye jumped on that track.
Yeah.
You know?
So, yeah.
Drake was feeling himself.
And then they just went back and forth with 2 great tracks. Which is...
So what song you gonna play right now? You gonna play
Drake is Duppy Freestyle.
And then after that it was
Story
of Adam. I like that song.
That track right there finished it all. That was it.
Bro.
That's why it was no more after that.
After that, I would have put my pen and pad in the drawer and not touched it for a few years, bro. That would have been it. That would have been it.
He didn't respond to that.
Drake
He
kept
did
it
not
moving.
respond.
How can you?
How you gonna respond to that exactly?
Drake kept it
that
moving
came
like
out almost
never happened.
exactly. You know what? That came out almost exactly a year ago.
And I haven't heard any new Drake music since.
Damn.
He put out an album, but I didn't listen to it.
For real?
Yeah, but I didn't listen to it.
I didn't even know.
He put out like a 24-track album, man. I didn't.
What?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he did what Chris Brown did.
Damn, I didn't even know.
Yeah, he put out a 24-track album, man. I don't listen
Side
to it.
A, side B.
Hey, you know what?
And from what I heard from people who listen to the album,
Yeah, it was,
that's what I heard from people who listen to the album.
Shout out to King Push, man.
Dude, Pusha T, man. Dude, you can't go wrong.
But it's a whole lot of backstory to that beef. Like, before Drake put out the W freestyle, he like reached out, cause I think, where's Pusha T from? He's from Virginia, right?
I think you're right, but I mean, it could be wrong.
I think he's from Virginia, cause him and Chris Brown from the same.
I know East Coast for sure. I know that much.
Drake had like tried to reach out to some of Pusha T's rivals out there to try to see what. Drake literally tried to pay. He put out like a whole lot of money to get.
No, bro, he paid over $100,000 to get info on Pusha T to later diss him on.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And Pusha T's people were like,
he was trying to do his homework.
He was trying to.
He was trying to pay his way through this beef.
Oh, man.
Because he didn't want, pretty much like, he wanted, since he was still on that run with the Meek Mill thing, he was like, I'm not going to win this Meek Mill one and then get killed by Pusha T. So he was like, I got to keep this going.
But it's Pusha T.
It's Pusha T. Pusha T got too much. First of all, he got too much people backing him up. And then in the streets, Pusha T got too much people backing him up.
I don't hate Drake, but if you ask me Pusha T or Drake, I'm going to say Pusha T all day.
Hands down.
I mean...
Yeah, but if you were Drake, would you try to do something to not get killed by Pusha T?
I'm not wasting $100,000 to diss somebody.
Well, not the $100,000, but you'll try to find something to be like...
Yeah.
Just to get some info, bro. Like, man, dude, you can go... You
that's
can Google
desperate right there.
Google
you know what? Pusha T should have put that in the track.
He called like some... like I listened to it on YouTube. He was like... They had some lady call and she was sitting there asking questions like... But he found out some stuff that he put in the W freestyle that Pusha T was lying about. So there is some stuff that he did, but not enough to...
But still, you low-key a punk for doing that.
It's Drake. What do you think?
That's what I'm saying. See, that's when I lost all respect for him. Like, I mean, shit. So, anyways, this is the beef between Pusha T and Drake.
And Pusha T did not get bodied by a singer nigga, not like Meek Mill did.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But
so
this is Drake W freestyle.
And then after that, we're gonna play.
Story Added On.
Story Added On, which is Pusha T's response to that, and that basically ended the beef because there was no response to that. So we're gonna play 2 tracks in a row.
They still ain't even. They don't even do nothing at all.
I wouldn't even talk to the motherfucker like that after that.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Come on, dude.
After that, Kanye West just started going crazy.
After that, he started going crazy. It wasn't before that.
Literally, that was after that.
It started happening before that, but
you gonna flick that this way for real?
But it really like it made like it was just a whole lot of backstory.
Wheelchair Jimmy.
It's a whole lot of backstory.
So let's go ahead and get those 2 tracks playing, man. This is beef between Meek Mill. My bad.
Wow.
I'm off track.
And Pusha T.
Drake and Pusha T, and that's Duppy by Drake, right?
Freestyle and Story Added On.
And then Story Added On by Pusha T, man. Let's go ahead and get
is that really the kid's name? Added On?
That's really the kid's name.
Added On.
He added on to what? This beef?
Bars, homie.
Got him.
Wow.
It has some historical value. I mean, it means something in history, but I have no idea what it is. So let's go ahead.
And I'm not about to do my homework.
No,
so let's just get into this track.
It's a lot of backstory.
Let's get 2 tracks running, man.
You're listening to the Boundless Hour.
Damn right you are.
With Downey Chris Productions. We'll see you after this track.
Oh, man. Mad shit after that.
Yeah.
And for all those watching on Facebook and all that, I mean, we weren't given restrictions as far as language, so that's what it is. You know?
Yep.
This is an R-rated show. This is our radio show, so put the kids to sleep and listen to our show.
That's a horrible thing.
This is some XM radio shit over here.
So for the people who don't know that part that you were talking about right now, the 666. Yep. So.
Oh man, that's wrong.
There's really somebody on Drake's crew who's 666.
Yeah.
And
40.
Yeah, 40. Like that's why you're talking about hunched over like he 80. He's got what did he got? I think sickle cell.
That's what I was about to say. I
think he got sickle cell.
He has it's really bad.
40 got sickle cell and it's bad to the point where he's sick. So that's why Pusha T.
It's really bad.
Pusha T didn't take he didn't have no boundaries. He said, you know what, screw it. I'm gonna just talk about.
So once you speak on my wife,
it's over. Yeah, no, it's over. Once you bring somebody's wife in there, somebody's kids,
wife and kids, it's over.
Yeah, it's over. You
done.
You about to get what you got coming to you. So that was the beef, dude. And there's no question. I'm sorry. In my opinion, I think everybody in the studio can agree is Pusha T won that beef.
Yep.
Mainly because Drake stayed quiet after that throughout the whole time, And
yeah, he did. The only thing he did, he literally just left it alone, like nothing happened, and then came out with an album and just forgot about it.
Yep.
I didn't even know he had an album.
He avoided it. Same thing he did with the Common beef, honestly. The beef he had with Common. Drake had beef with Common, bro. Oh, we're gonna have to come back to this.
We might.
I
didn't know about that either.
One of the first beefs that Drake ever had was with Common.
Oh, you know what? I do remember.
He had a song.
Common had a song. He went hard on.
It was French Montana.
Oh, I thought that was about
Drake.
Chris Brown.
No, it was French Montana featuring Drake and Common. And Drake was saying something about Common in his verse. Basically the same thing that happened.
Stay Scheming song, right?
Stay Scheming.
Mm-hmm.
Stay
Scheming.
Nope.
At the end of the song, Common even says, "Make no mistake, I'm talking to Drake."
Yep. And then he came out with another track after that.
And Drake stayed quiet as hell.
And Common went. It wasn't like the Common beef between him and Ice Cube where he was calm. He went off.
Rap beef?
That's all.
God.
Yeah.
And he barely won that, honestly.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
He did not.
I feel like
Meek
Mill, with the second track that he put out, which was War Pain, I feel like he won that one. With that track,
I feel like Drake won that one.
Because Drake won, because Summer 16, the Summer 16 honestly wasn't that really great of a track to me, in my opinion. It wasn't that great of a track.
What was the first record that Drake put out?
Back to back?
No, that wasn't.
Towards. It was back to back.
It was back to back?
I think it was. It was back to back.
That wasn't the first one. That was the second one, I thought.
I think that was the first one.
I think that was the first one.
That was the first one. And the second one he put out was Summer 16.
And that one, he just kind of...
I thought the first one was
slid that in there kind of randomly.
The first one was Summer 16.
No.
That was after back to back.
No. Summer 16 was already into the beat. So, I think Meek Mill could have won that one because, to the fans, Drake won that one. But...
He was quiet.
In all honesty, Meek Mill...
He didn't even tweet.
Meek Mill low-key laughed. He could have won that one, but, he didn't, which is whatever.
He stayed off all social media.
So...
Damn.
Moses, we up to your part, and
so,
the beats that you brought to the table. Go ahead and talk about them.
I brought one that it's probably not too known to everybody, but Joyner Lucas and Tory Lanez had a beef. It was a silly beef.
Recent, too.
But... It brought 4 good tracks, bro. They were all good. And
that's my bad.
For real, bro?
Really? That's my bad. That's rude. That's my bad. You want beef, bro? Let's go.
All right, medium rare.
Wow.
Oh, not that kind of beef.
Let's
all right.
get it.
Yeah. So I was looking into their beef because I'm like, I want to know how this started. There's always a backstory. And basically, Tory Lanez was giving a shout out, was just basically talking about how he's ready to challenge anybody.
Some of these Canadians coming out and feeling themselves, bro. Like, damn.
Yeah, and then
you don't know what's real out here, bro.
And basically, he was basically feeling himself. He's just like, I'll challenge anybody. And
I think I remember seeing that. Yeah.
And basically, he was talking about people that he thinks is better than him and people he doesn't think he's better than. And then he had his Lucky You freestyle, right? Which the original track is Eminem featuring Joyner Lucas. And Joyner was like, nah. And he came back with a Liddy freestyle, which is Tory Lanez's original track called Liddy, right? So we're actually going to play 4 tracks because they did go back to back.
Nice.
And it's crazy. The crazy thing is these 4 tracks are as long as that one game track that we
Damn.
played last week.
The bars.
Yeah.
That's
So
funny.
the first track is Tory Lanez "Lucky You" freestyle. Then you got Jordan Lucas with "Liddy" freestyle. Then you're back to Tory again with Liddy again. So he decided to hop back on his own beat. On his own beat.
Couldn't afford a
And
beat.
do it again, I guess. And then and then Joyner hops on I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, Zizzy or ZZ.
It's easy shit.
Yeah, ZZ, and does a freestyle on that. So for those of y'all that don't know, Joyner Lucas is raw, bro.
Jordan Lucas gets down.
He does some good music, man. But if you guys listen to the lyrics of both
He
of
has to be
them,
good. Eminem picked him to put on the
Yeah.
record.
and
That's rare.
Eminem likes him because he tells a story. He does the hip hop that we wish
Right.
these new
Still,
cats would do.
Yeah.
And he does it. So you'll hear it here with the way he talks. He always tells a story. He has fun with his rhymes, right? You know, he'll have fun. He'll pick. He'll
He
play
paints a
whatever.
picture.
Yeah, because he
You
even
know.
has songs on. Jordan Lucas has songs on YouTube where he's like talking in third person.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's got the Frozen song where he's going in the minds of a few different people.
Yeah.
He's got the I'm Not a Racist
Yeah, that
where
one.
he's
Yeah, that
he's
one.
playing a white dude and he's playing a black dude.
He has a song called 100, which is literally the story
That
of a
song
$100
is
bill.
dope.
Oh
And
yeah.
it goes
Yeah.
between a bunch of different people's
It's a song.
pockets.
The song about 100. The 100 is a song about a
Keep it
$100
100.
bill that keeps bouncing between different people in different scenarios.
And basically, it starts at a store. That store gets robbed. That $100 bill goes from that guy that robs him to a game where he loses in a gamble, ends up in some dude's pocket, it loses out of his pocket, it ends up with a bum, ends up with a stripper, and then it ends up back at that store eventually.
That's funny.
it's crazy.
And that dollar bill has a phone number on it, so they know that that's that same dollar bill.
So he paints pictures in your head, and that's something that hip hop, I feel, sadly started losing that art, that essence of
Yeah, a
painting
lot
a
of people,
picture
a lot of
in
people
your
don't tell
head.
stories anymore.
They don't.
He
All they
also
do is
had
get on
that,
the mic, get auto-tune, and
and
be like,
just go.
"Somebody, somebody."
And he also had that Ross Cappuccini song. Yeah, the Ross Cappuccini, where he was
Frappuccino?
talking about. he basically told the whole story through a kid that got a new friend that he trusted that then betrayed him in the end,
Oh, I
ended
have
up
heard that
shooting
song.
him,
Yeah.
whatever. And he did live. The kid did live, but he tells that whole story through his point of view, and everybody's comments talks about how on point that whole story
Yeah,
was.
storytelling is just a beautiful
And
art.
Didn't he do? He does one with a kid too. I forgot what that one was.
hmm And then the recent one, I heard one recently. I gotta play it eventually, not today because it's not beef related, but he does a song called Backwards. I found it on YouTube randomly, and basically his friends telling him, try something new.
Mm.
So he's like, you're gonna spit 8 bars, and then you're gonna spit those same 8 bars
Backwards. I have heard that song,
and they
yeah.
have to make sense.
Yeah, I have heard that song.
He does 3
So
verses,
that's talent, dude. That
3
takes
verses
talent.
that way,
Yeah.
and they all
He's
make
very
sense.
talented.
They make sense every time.
That takes so much talent that
Oh,
it's just
yeah.
people don't realize what hip hop lost, honestly, when it comes to mainstream hip hop. But anyways,
Oh, yeah.
back to our main point. These next songs. This
We're
is
gonna-
Joyner versus Tory Lanez, right?
Joyner versus Tory
And
Lanez.
these are, you're gonna say you play 4 tracks back to back.
4 tracks.
Okay, so Danny, back in the board, Danny Hawkins Productions. That's 4 tracks in a row that we're gonna play next. And this is Tory Lanez versus Joyner Lucas, right?
Yes, sir. So let's get right into it. You're listening on the Boundless Hour.
Fuck out my face, nigga. Hey, nigga, look. We gonna get one in. Pause. Let's not do this back and forth shit no more. I think we know what's up, you know? Join him!
I think he won.
Oh, he
Oh,
won,
yeah.
bro. He won. Hands
Come on,
down,
man.
he won, dude. Man.
Man, you know what's funny? I heard Joyner on this beat before I heard the original song.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, dang, where's this beat from? What the hell? And then
Yeah,
I finally
talk
heard it on the
about the
radio,
original
but
artist.
Yeah.
So after this, we're gonna talk about why we don't mess with this original artist.
Fuck
Go ahead.
Kodak Black.
Yeah. So the original artist is Kodak Black. The song you just heard right now was Joyner Lucas rapping over the beat by Kodak Black. John, tell him why Kodak Black ain't acceptable anymore.
Never.
I don't tell him why.
that's it.
Oh,
You
sorry,
back on.
my bad.
I was like,
Yeah,
never.
my
What?
bad. Apparently he went on his Instagram live and was talking about hitting on Lauren London, which is Nipsey Hussle's wife, girlfriend, whatever, saying he'll give her 1 to 3 years and he gonna try to holler at her.
So for those who don't know, last week we talked about Nipsey Hussle's passing and the way he went out. And how you gonna disrespect?
That's rude, man.
How you gonna that's the thing about a lot of new cats, dude. A lot of new rappers, like, they have no respect, like, at all.
No
Like,
guidance.
no guidance, no respect at all
Yeah.
when it comes to respecting.
And even like on the Instagram live, even his homeboy say you're not really supposed to say that. Like, and he was like, nah, it's that they ain't gonna take it serious. And then
Oh no, we took it
Oh,
serious.
come on, man. Yeah.
We took it damn serious, bro. 'Cause
That Game responded to him. Ti even went in on him, and Ti ain't even from here. And he said you just have.
you
to
don't talk about nobody's wife when somebody passed. Like, that's
And
just
it was still fresh, bro. It was like 3 days right after. Like that's.
like how you gonna disrespect somebody like that? So Kodak Black's music got banned from
92.3.
92.3 Power 106. And like I was telling them outside recently, I read some article on where even car clubs out here in the IE are banning his music being played at their car shows.
That's his bad.
Can we just say how much of an impact Nipsey had on people?
Just
for him
like
to do that?
just from
That's
that.
crazy. Yeah, that's crazy.
That's wow.
If you have that much of respect where people are banning somebody who disrespected your wife even after you passing, bro,
They
that's
don't
not
even
respect.
have to know your wife, bro. Like that's just
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
that's out of LA.
And,
Like, that's
and
not
how
even-
much more disrespectful can you be to say R.I.P. to dude?
Yeah, that's
Really?
another thing.
Come on,
He said,
man.
R.I.P. to dude.
And that expanded past LA. Like, Nipsey was from LA. Even out here in the IE, we're talking about, like, nah, we're not playing dude music anymore. Like, we're not playing Kodak Black's music anymore.
Disrespectful to his
Like,
wife
he
and
being
him.
disrespectful.
Like, you're just,
Like,
wow.
dude, get out. First of all, how you gonna be that ignorant to even expect the fact that you have a chance with Lauren London,
I
bro?
wouldn't-
Like,
I wouldn't
your
expect
ugly
him-
mug ass don't have no
I
chance.
wouldn't expect him to really be that intelligent. Have you ever heard him
Yeah, I've
talk?
heard him
Like,
speak, but I'm talking
he
about your ugly
sounds
mug ass ain't gonna have
like
a chance with Lauren
fucking
London.
3-year-old.
Lauren London, the queen, bro. You are not close to no king. Like, get out of my
Shit at
face.
the bottom of my fucking shoe.
That's what. So that's our thoughts on Kodak Black. If y'all like Kodak Black,
Fuck
you can press the exit button and get up out of here. So
He don't mean that. You can stay on here.
no, I mean that.
Nah, yeah, we need that.
I don't need
And
them
then
views.
for another one is they finally, well not finally, but they changed Crenshaw and Slauson to Nipsey
To
Hussle
Nipsey
Square.
Hussle Square.
Really?
Yeah,
Yep.
that's what it's
That's
that's
what's up.
what it's
It
called.
went
now.
into effect. It's Nipsey Hussle Square. One street's Nipsey, the other street's Hustle, and
He gets that
Wow.
whole
he
entire
gets
square.
that
And
whole
that's
square.
that's an impact right there.
No
That
more
is-
Crenshaw Boulevard. It's on Nipsey Square, bro.
That's a big impact right there.
That-
That's what we're talking about. How people don't see him as the guy that actually went out there and was trying to make a change in within his community
Mhm.
with his money. You know, he wasn't just spending his money on the cars and the houses and all
He was
this. He was
investing.
trying to, he was an investor. He was helping his boys with their business. He was helping out schools, his whole
He was helping
community.
everything.
Everybody. It wasn't just all about Nipsey. He was
Yep.
thinking about others before himself. That's what made him such a great guy. That's a big impact right there to have a whole street change after you.
The whole entire street.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
And not even that, just have like a whole coast, a whole country, just
Yeah, because I was gonna say it's not even just like they're still doing visuals even in like
Oh yeah.
New York. They had one in Dallas. They had one in Chicago.
Yesterday.
Detroit.
Was it yesterday? Yeah. It was either yesterday or 2 days ago. I was looking on the TV on a few different news channels. They were doing a Nipsey Hussle tribute. Even I was at somebody's house and he was watching some church channel or something. They were doing a tribute
Yep.
to Nipsey Hussle.
Yep.
They had pastors in there talking about how he was as a person. Outside of the music, outside of all the business, and how good he was as a person.
It's literally,
And
it's bigger than Tupac.
So
bro.
I watched
Definitely.
the Nipsey Memorial at work because I was training during the
Yeah,
time.
I watched it
We had a TV in our break room while I took my lunch. I'm watching KCON News, and they were running on KCON News. And dude, it's just like